Now that we've had a look at World at War, Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 zombies, it's now time to take a little detour from the Treyarch train of zombies. We are going to look at Advanced Warfare and the zombie maps that were provided by Sledgehammer Games for Exo Zombies. Now, technically, Riot is the first zombies map, but I'm not going to count Riot because Riot is a survival map. So because of that, we're moving on to the actual proper first zombies map, which is Outbreak. Not to be confused with obviously the Cold War game mode, which has very mixed receptions from the community. Outbreak, in my opinion, is probably my favourite Exo zombie map. Because the other maps aren't really that great. And Outbreak, yeah, well, it's very simply just survival and Easter egg. It's still pretty good. Now, what does Advanced Warfare do different compared to Treyarch Zombies? Well, it makes use of the advanced movement, aka the exosuits. And you will see this, basically, once you get to power, you'll have the exosuits available. And the exosuits are game changers, honestly. It makes the experience a lot better. Of course, there are zombies that will counter that, which we'll talk about in a bit. There's also some perks have changed around. They got different names now, so Jug is now known as Exo Health. Speed Cola is known as Exo Reload, I believe. Yeah, I think it's Exo Reload. And yeah, and Pack-a-Punch has changed quite a lot, which I think we should talk. Well, actually, I've got the pack names here. Exo Slam is basically like the slam you can do in multiplayer, but for zombies, it's like a recharge thing. Exo Medic's obviously quick revive. And Exo Soldier, I'm pretty sure it's Deadshot. So it's a very weird choice of perks to have. And of course, one of them technically being new as well. But it's still pretty cool. Now, there is a wonder weapon, of course, in this map. The cell-free catalyzer. And this is basically the ray gun equivalent for Exo Zombies. Is this wonder weapon good? It's okay. It's not amazing, but it's not awful. The ray gun is still better as a wonder weapon for each map compared to this. But cell-free catalyzer is still pretty good. Now, I think we should talk about the elephant in the room with Exo, which is Pack-a-Punch. Pack-a-Punch is a lot different in this game compared to Treyarch, where Treyarch, this is one Pack-a-Punch machine. You spend 5k and it upgrades your weapon to make it stronger. Instead, you spend 2.5k at these upgrade stations to upgrade the rarity of your weapon, which goes from tier 1 to tier 20. But if you complete the Easter egg, you can get to tier 25. Do I like this? No. I don't like this at all. I think this is a terrible, awful feature. And I'm kind of glad that when Sledgehammer did zombies again in World War II, they learned their lesson from that and didn't take that approach again. But considering this is the only way Pack-a-Punch kind of works for 4 maps, it's not the end of the world. Now, we should probably talk about the crew. Oz, Lilith, Decker, and Khan. I'm going to be honest with you, apart from Oz, this is a really forgettable crew. And this is the issue I think a lot of the non-Treyarch games will have. Some people might disagree with me and be like, oh, but World War II's crew was quite rememberable. In my opinion, they weren't. And I think this is the issue. I think a lot of the non-Treyarch crews are rememberable. I think there's certain characters from each crew that are rememberable, like Oz, with the typical, I fucking hate the Atlas Corporation. You can talk about, that's a pretty memorable moment. That's probably the only memorable moment of AW Zombies. But, and Point Detzer, because he just looks like Mr. T. Let's Fire. But yeah, so, what was I trying to, I remember what I was trying to say. The issue I find is that these crews are very forgettable, apart from like 1 or 2 characters for each crew. And maybe this is because I didn't play much of these modes. I definitely didn't play a lot of IW or World War II. I did play a lot of Exo though. It could be that, but I think it's mainly just because they really had no personality, or they had personality, but their personality was just one thing. So Oz's whole personality is just him hating the Atlas Corporation, and that is it. Like, that's boring, I'm sorry. Oz does actually become quite a good character towards the latter half of Etzel, but like at this point with Outbreak, he's pretty mundane and boring, just like the rest of them. Let's talk about the enemy types then. So we have zombies, we have dogs, but we also have two new kind of enemies as well. We have the EMC zombies, which are basically EMP zombies. So if you get touched by the shockwave, it will disable your exosuit, which of course is not good if you are trying to jump around the map with the exosuit. In fact, it's very bad. And then there are exploders, which upon killing them, they explode, I think, the zombies around you, which are very useful actually, by the way. But if you don't kill them when they come up to you, they just explode you, and then, you know, you take more health than normal. Like I say, this is a very basic map, because, well, it was the first Etzel Zombies map. It was the first non-Treyarch Zombies map, which, I gotta say, for the first non-Treyarch Zombies map, it wasn't really that good. Like I say, just going over some trivia. So the computer in the morgue has the number 007 displayed on the screen, which is a reference to the title character for the James Bond franchise, of course. In the trailer, there's a scene where Lilith uses the computer. It says Atlas, now we make the normal in a mirrored view. So they obviously messed that up in the trailer, of course. But yeah, to kind of conclude Outbreak, and to conclude the first part of Etzel Zombies, while this is probably this is like the one of two Etzel maps that I like, it's still very basic, very crap, very just terrible. And you can tell this is Sledgehammer's first like rodeo at this. This is their first like attempt at making a zombies mode. And of course, like the whole, like I said, the Easter egg as well. The Easter egg was just stupid. There were so many stupid steps with the Easter egg. And what may sound like I'm being very negative on Etzel, I actually do like some of the features of Etzel. I like the wonder weapon, for example. I like the weaponry, or weaponry. The weapons. There you go. I'll just do that. The weapons. Like I say, at this point, I think weapons were starting to get a lot better, and obviously Black Ops 3 would be the pinnacle of that. And I just like the Etzel movement as well. The Etzel movement was really nice, and I mean the Etzel movement was kind of the whole selling point of AW. But of course, I think if you bought AW and you were playing AW, you probably weren't really playing it much for the zombies. You're probably playing it a lot more for the multiplayer. Anyway, this is the first part of the Advanced Warfare maps, of course. Next up is the best map of all time, Infection. It's awful, by the way. So that's going to be a fun video to talk about. I will say, don't be surprised if these videos are very short, especially the non-Treyarch maps. I don't really have much to talk about for them, because I am not a Treyarch stan, but I didn't play a lot of non-Treyarch maps. I've been trying to play a lot more. Like, I've been playing IW recently to get the Easter eggs done, or some of the Easter eggs done. I only got like 3 out of 5 done, but yeah, basically, if these videos are shorter, it's because it's not that I'm struggling to talk about them, but it kind of is. It's just there's not really much to talk about, because Outbreak is a glorified survival map, basically, with an Easter egg. Anyway, that's it. I'll see you Muppets in the next one for Infection on Sunday. It'll be. Peace.